Let me hit you with a hard truth. You are not a machine. You are not a bottomless well of energy. And yet somehow we've been convinced that stopping, even for a moment, is some kind of crime. I mean, have you ever tried to sit down for just 5 minutes only to have that little voice in your head scream, shouldn't you be doing something more productive? Sound familiar? If so, then today is for you. By the end of this episode, I promise you are going to see self-care, rest, and me time in a completely different light. Not as a guilty pleasure, not as something you'll squeeze in if there's some time left over, because spoiler alert, there never is, but as a non-negotiable that actually makes you more productive, more present, and yes, happier. So buckle up, babes, because we are about to shatter some deeply ingrained myths about what it means to be busy and successful. So, beautiful humans, welcome back for another episode of the Conscious Connection Show, where we talk all things mindset, well-being, stress management, and surviving life without losing your sanity. I'm Helen, your host, mindset coach, educator, business mama, and former burnout queen turned advocate for balance and well-being. So, are you ready to dive into today's amazing episode? Of course you are. So let's do this. Let's start with the big one, guilt. Why do we feel so freaking guilty when we take time for ourselves? Well, short answer, because society has programmed us that way. Long answer, generations of conditioning that have taught us that our worth is tied to our productivity. We live in a hustle culture that glorifies being busy as if rest is some kind of weakness. We've been trained to believe that if we're not doing something useful every waking second, we're falling behind. And if you're a parent, especially a mum, oh boy, you have been handed an extra helping dose of guilt on a silver platter. Ever heard of Supermum Syndrome? It's that unspoken expectation that you should be able to do everything. Work full time or run a business or do both. Keep the house spotless. Be fully present with your kids. Do all the activities. Do all the things. Always be available. Cook nutritious Instagram-worthy meals. Have some thriving social life where you hang out with your friends all the time. Maintain a perfect relationship. Look polished and put together while actually you're just functioning on caffeine and 4 hours of sleep. Sound familiar? And here's the wild part. When you can't do all of that all the time, because realistically no one can, you feel like you're failing. And the problem? This is a one-way ticket to burnout. You cannot function at your best when you are constantly exhausted, overwhelmed, and running on fumes. And you know what? The guilt, it just sticks to us. It sticks like glue. Now let's talk brain science for a moment, because you know I love neuroscience and psychology. Guilt isn't just some random feeling. It's an evolutionary tool that's designed to keep us in check with our values. If you value being a good parent, a good partner, a good employee, your brain will send up red flags if you do anything that feels like it's taking away from that. You sit down to rest. Guilt says, you should be doing something more productive. You take a solo trip to the shops. Guilt whispers, shouldn't you be spending time with the kids or bringing them with you? You leave laundry unfolded or to pile up a little bit, and guilt starts screaming, what kind of a mother lets her house look like this? But here's the kicker. Taking care of yourself doesn't take away from your family, your work, or your responsibilities. It actually enhances them. Think of it this way. A well-rested you is more patient with your kids. A recharged you is more productive with your work. And a mentally balanced you handles stress way better than an exhausted, overwhelmed version of you. So why do we keep ignoring this truth? So many of us know this, but we don't do anything about it. Because putting ourselves on the priority list feels so unnatural after years of being told that selflessness is the ultimate virtue. We convince ourselves that everyone's needs must come first. And by the time we even think about our own, we're too exhausted to do anything about it. And look, this is something I work on with my clients, helping them shift from constantly running on empty to actually feeling in control of their time, their energy, and their mindset. Because when you start prioritizing yourself, everything else, your business, your family, your happiness, it all falls into place so much more effortlessly. Because what if you challenge that belief that prioritizing everyone else above yourself is some kind of superwoman value because self-care is selfish? Recently, I heard the best quote ever in relation to self-care and setting boundaries. And it was this: prioritizing yourself doesn't mean putting yourself first. It simply means putting yourself on the same level of prioritization that you give to everyone else. Boom, mic drop, right? This hit me like a ton of bricks because it is spot on. Most of us aren't even asking to be first on the list. We're just asking to be on the list at all. Busy mums especially tend to put themselves dead last. They make sure that everyone else's needs are met before even considering their own. They say things like, I'll rest when everything's done, or I'll rest when I'm dead. But here's the thing, everything is never done until you're dead. And then there's no time left. And the self-talk inside a mum's head, sometimes it's brutal. Oh, I shouldn't even need a break. I should be able to do it all. Other mums handle this just fine. Why can't I? Oh, look, I'll take care of myself better when the kids are older and it's easier. What if we flip the script? What if you gave yourself the same care and devotion you give your family, your friends, and your job? Think about it. If your best friend came to you and they said, I'm so exhausted, I feel like I never have a moment for myself, I just want to rest, but I feel so guilty, would you tell her, yeah, you're right, you should probably just push through it? Of course not. You'd say something like, you deserve rest, you're doing so much, and you can't keep on running on empty. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary, because you know it's true. So why don't you say that to yourself? What if you spoke to yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and understanding that you would offer to a loved one? What if you shifted your mindset to, if my kids deserve love and rest, so do I. If my partner deserves kindness and patience, so do I. If my friends deserve time for themselves, so do I. Guilt has no place here. You are not neglecting your family by caring for yourself. You are not lazy for needing to rest. You are not selfish for making yourself a priority. You are human. And humans, they actually thrive when they're cared for. So, next time guilt tries to creep on in and tell you that you should be doing something else instead of resting, I want you to remember this instead. Your needs matter. Your rest is valid. And a healthy, happy, and well-rested you is the best gift that you can give to the people you love. When Guilty McGee pops up in your mind and starts berating you, I want you to pause and ask yourself, would I judge a friend for taking this same break? Would I tell my child they don't deserve rest? Is this guilt coming from a place of truth or just outdated conditioning? Because here is the truth that you need to remember. Rest isn't a reward, it's a requirement. You don't have to earn self-care. You just have to allow it. You just have to make time for it. And if anyone, including that little voice in your head, tries to tell you otherwise, kindly remind them that you are a queen who deserves her throne, and that throne comes with built-in self-care breaks. Now, let's bust one of the biggest myths out there, that being constantly busy equals being productive. Spoiler alert, it does not. Studies show that when we overwork ourselves, our brains and bodies suffer. Ever heard of ultradian rhythms? These are the natural cycles of our body that dictate when we focus best. On average, we can focus for about 90 minutes before we need a break. But what do most of us do? Push through anyway. And then we wonder why we hit that afternoon slump where our brain feels like mush and we find ourselves staring at a screen or in procrastination paralysis mode, accomplishing absolutely nothing. That's because When we don't take breaks, our productivity actually drops. Our brains need to rest to consolidate information, recharge, and perform at peak levels. Think of it like a muscle. If you overwork a muscle without allowing it to recover, it gets weaker, not stronger. The same applies to your mental energy. And let's talk about sleep for a second, because I know some of you are skimping on it big time. And research shows that a lack of sleep reduces cognitive function as much as being legally drunk. Yet somehow we walk around wearing sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I only got 4 hours sleep. I only got 3. 3 hours? Lucky you. I only got 2 hours sleep. Yeah? If you don't get enough sleep, your ability to problem solve, make decisions, and manage emotions all take a serious hit. Ever notice how everything feels 10 times harder when you're exhausted? That's because your brain is literally struggling to function properly. It just wants you to rest. It just wants you to sleep. All right, and here's where self-care becomes the ultimate tool for better time management, productivity, and overall happiness. When you prioritize rest, nourishment, and joy, you actually get more done in less time. Think about it for a second. When you're well rested, properly fueled, and mentally balanced, tasks that normally take hours suddenly take half the time because your focus is sharper, your energy is higher, and you are working with your body instead of against it. Taking time to recharge isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. And this is exactly what I help busy mamas do inside my Thrive and Flow program. Move from survival mode into a place where rest, balance, and success actually coexist. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things in a way that supports you, not drains you. Because this is what allows you to be fully present with your work, your family, and yourself. When you schedule those breaks, you move your body, you eat nourishing foods, and allow yourself time for joy and fun, you create a cycle of energy renewal instead of depletion. And the result? More efficiency, fewer mistakes, a higher level of fulfillment in both your personal and professional life. So if you feel guilty about resting, I want you to reframe it like this. Rest isn't being lazy. Rest is what allows you to function at your best. And when you function at your best, everything else, your work, your relationships, your happiness, it all starts to flow so much more easily. Imagine your energy is like a bank account. Every responsibility you take on is a withdrawal. Every stressor, every deadline, every school run, it's all money going out. And just like a real bank account, if you keep spending without adding anything back in, you'll eventually run out. Now, where do the deposits come from? Rest, self-care, time for you. But here's the thing. Most people treat self-care like an optional bonus instead of a non-negotiable necessity. We put everyone else first, thinking we'll rest later, but later never comes. And without those energy deposits, what happens? You go into energy debt. And that's when we hit burnout, overwhelm, and that snappy, irritable mood where everything feels like it's too much. You know the days when even the smallest inconvenience makes you want to scream, and the thought of more responsibility and more things to do, it feels unbearable. And burnout doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow drain. It starts with exhaustion. It leads to brain fog, lowered productivity, procrastination, paralysis, resentment, and even physical symptoms like headaches, body aches, or getting sick more often. And look, I've been there. I don't recommend it. But I found a way to change my life completely and put myself back together and make sure it never happens again. And now that's why I'm so passionate and driven to share this information and to support other busy mums on the brink of burnout in the hopes that I can help them before they hit that point. Because the worst part, the more depleted you become, the harder it is to pull yourself out. And look, there's a saying that goes around, which I'm sure you've heard, it's been done to death. You can't pour from an empty cup. Well, have you heard the one that says that and then counters it with, but as a mum, you sure do. Because even when your cup is empty, you still find something to give. It's true, right? But the thing is, what are you pouring out of that empty cup? Not something nourishing and complete. It's emptiness. It's thin air. It's nothingness. It's the bare minimum. And when you are running on that thin air and bare minimum, you're not only not giving your best, you're depleting yourself more and more and more. And you deserve better. So instead of seeing rest as an indulgence, see it as a necessary deposit into your energy bank. Just like you wouldn't expect to keep paying bills from an empty bank account, you can't expect to keep giving your best to your work, your family, or your goals when your energy is depleted and getting lower. Taking time for yourself isn't selfish. It's how you ensure that you have the capacity to show up fully for everything that matters to you. And if you are still feeling guilty about it, try flipping the script like this. I take care of myself so I can take care of others better. Resting makes me more productive, not less. It gives me more time, not less. I'm not a machine. I deserve to recharge. And look, even machines need to recharge their batteries, get more fuel, have regular services and maintenance, or they break down. Are you going to keep giving better care to your machines and your devices than you do to yourself? Please don't. You're worth so much more than that. And the irony, when you prioritize yourself, everything else actually gets done more efficiently. A well-rested, well-cared for you is a more productive, happier, and more present version of yourself. You don't just function better, you thrive. All right? Now, let's get practical. How do we actually make that time for ourselves in a way that works around our busy, full lives and that it actually sticks? Because let's be real, if we don't plan for it, it won't happen. So, number one is put it on your calendar or in your planner like an appointment. Would you cancel a doctor's appointment? No, then don't cancel your self-care. Book it in and honor it like any other commitment. This isn't something that you squeeze in. If you have time, you make time. Treat it with the same importance as a client meeting or a school event. Set a reminder, block off time in your planner, and here's the key. Don't negotiate with yourself. The moment you start thinking, I can just skip it today, I've got too much other stuff to do, is the moment you reinforce that your needs don't matter. And they do. Number two is to start small. If you're used to being constantly on the go, the idea of, a full hour of self-care might feel impossible. So start with 10 to 15 minutes a day. A quiet cup of coffee, a short walk, reading a few pages of a book, a quick meditation. It doesn't have to be complicated. The goal is consistency, not perfection. And small daily deposits into your energy bank add up over time. Think of it like compound interest. Those little moments of self-care accumulate, making you more resilient, more productive, and less overwhelmed. And number three is delegate and ditch perfection. Repeat after me. I do not have to do everything myself. Seriously, the belief that things won't get done right unless you do them personally is keeping you stuck in exhaustion. Kids can help. Partners can step up. And yes, sometimes things will be done differently than how you would have liked them to be done, but that doesn't mean they're done wrong, okay? Give yourself permission to let go. The laundry doesn't have to be folded perfectly. The dinner doesn't have to be gourmet, all right? Done is better than perfect, and your peace is worth more than control. And number four, set boundaries and say no. No, no, no. This one's huge. You do not have to say yes to every request that comes your way in order to be valued and appreciated. Okay, protect your time. No is a complete sentence. Repeat that. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain, justify, or over-apologize. If something doesn't align with your priorities, it takes away from your well-being, you have every right to decline it. And here's a mindset shift. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to yourself. So flip the equation. Say yes to you first. And number five is guilt-busting affirmations. When guilt creeps in, shut it down. Because guess what? You don't owe anyone burnout. Your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. When you take care of yourself, you show up as a better, happier, more present version of you for your family, your work, and your life. So whenever that nagging voice of guilt pops up, try these affirmations instead. Resting is productive because a well-rested mind works smarter, not harder. Taking care of myself is not selfish because your needs matter too. I'm allowed to have time for me because your well-being matters as much as everyone else's. And remember, I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Self-care isn't a reward. It's the fuel that keeps you going. The better you take care of yourself, the more energy, patience, and clarity that you'll have for everything else. And that is how you truly win at life. So, here's my challenge for you. In the next 24 hours, I want you to take at least 15 minutes just for you. No guilt, no excuses, just a little recharge. And if that little voice in your head tries to tell you should be doing something else, remind it. Rest is what will allow you to do those things better. Okay? Now, I hope you got so much out of this episode. I hope it made you see once and for all just how powerful self-care and rest is for you. How essential it is that you make time for it. Not find the time, make the time. If you want to be more energized, more productive, and less overwhelmed and stressed, you have to take control of it by making time. And if you found this episode helpful, share it with another busy mama who needs to hear this. Leave a comment, let me know what you loved about the episode, what you want to hear more about. And don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're in the know when the next episode comes out. And if you do want to go even deeper into time and stress management, mindset shifts, and all of that, the links to info and my programs, self-paced online courses, books, all that, it's in the episode description, as are my social links, so you can follow me and reach out if there's anything that you need, any questions you have. And until next time, peace, love, warm fuzzies and all that, but take care of you because you deserve it. If it's not one kitty, it's the other kitty. Cute kitties.